Hello everyone, Shadefyre here, and welcome to episode 1 of my blind playthrough of Resident Evil Revelations. The reason I decided to do this game for a blind playthrough is because I'm a big Resident Evil fan, and this is the first opportunity I've had to kind of play through a Resident Evil game and show it to you guys at the same time. So I'll be learning things here at the same time as you guys, and we'll find out how good this is. This is, of course, the PC port of the original 3DS game that came out in, March of 2012? This just came out, but doesn't really apply to the 3-month rule since the actual game has been out for about a year. So yeah, this is the HD re-release that came out for 360, PS3, and PC. We're playing it on PC, of course. Got it off Steam. And I'm really curious to see how the controls work with this, considering they were designed for a dual-screen, touchscreen system. I'm guessing that the stuff that would normally be on the bottom screen will just show up as its own menu or something. For those of you who are actually interested in the plot, which seems to be kind of rare with Resident Evil games, personally I'm a big fan of that stuff even though it's ridiculous. Might be interested to know that this game takes place after Resident Evil 4, but before Resident Evil 5. It's really all I know about the plot, other than apparently it's ridiculous and hard to follow, which is what people say about most Resident Evil games, so I figure it's pretty much par for the course. I guess with no further ado, let's just jump right in. A lot of people said that this is a lot more of a return to form for Resident Evil than 4, 5, or 6, so I'm curious to see how all that holds true.
Hey, Jill.
Incredible.
The Queen Zenobia. This thing is lucky to be afloat.
Take us around. Let's find a boarding point. It's been 94 minutes since Chris and Jessica dropped off the radar.
But the interpolation from their last known coordinates puts them
Right here on this ship.
Alright, we're actually in pretty quick. I was expecting there to be a lot more cutscene. Okay. Sensitivity is really high, so I'll try to be careful there. So, if this takes place post-Resident Evil 4, that means the BSAA, Bioterrorism Security Assessment Agency, would have just been formed, and this is before Jill goes missing after being thrown out a window by Wesker.
You okay?
I guess we're already stuck with our AI buddy here. I have no idea what his name is. Okay, controls pretty much so far the same as Resident Evil 5. And I guess you can move and shoot, so kind of Resident Evil 6 in there too.
I might be able to shoot it off.
Oh. Yes, thank you for the shooting tutorial game. One step ahead of you here.
The stench.
It's been abandoned for a while.
Now, some people have mentioned that this is actually the first Resident Evil game to be set on a ship, That's not quite true. There are actually 2 other Resident Evil games that came out before this that are set on ships. One being Resident Evil Gaiden, which was a Game Boy game, or Game Boy Color game, so fair enough, no one's heard of it. I actually did first impressions on that one. It's kind of neat. And then the other one was Resident Evil Dead Aim, a PS2 game, and that was pretty terrible. Since it basically mixed third-person, third-person Resident Evil fixed cameras with first-person light gun shooting.
Hey. I don't think we're alone.
It's totally not a monster. It's probably just a survivor who's just as scared as we are.
There's blood coming from the ducts.
There's a man coming from the ducts. I mean, I've seen some zombies in my day, but I've never seen a mutation like this.
No power, which means no elevator for us.
Which, fair enough, Jill never had to fight any G-virus monsters, which are the ones that mutate a lot. Unless you count Nemesis, but that's a whole different can of tentacle worms.
It's not working.
What gives you that idea, Jilly Billy? You know, I'm fairly certain that Jill has a different voice actor in this than she does in 5, which is a little weird because this didn't come out that long after 5. But Resident Evil is kind of notorious for inconsistency in voice acting, both in the lines and in the people voice acting them. Even Wesker's gone through like 3 or 4 different voice actors. I feel like our walk speed is perhaps a bit fast for this slow-paced horror bit. Like, we're not even sprinting here, and Jill just kind of moves at a steady pace. Very determined. Oh, we should have been searching those fucking lockers while I was blabbing off.
The ship's register. It was named for some ancient queen.
Really, is that why it's called the Queen Zenobia?
I can't make out this picture.
It's too low res for me to understand. Ooh,
The power
Trish.
still works here. It's shorted out.
Okay, I have to put myself in the right mindset. I'm playing this like Resident Evil 6 and kind of skipping examining stuff. And this is not that kind of Resident Evil. Supposedly.
Parker, give me a hand here.
Sure, no problem.
I got something. I think it's a gun.
Now what?
Give me a sec.
So, it's not Chris.
You know, for someone who works for a bioterrorism firm, you'd think she would know better than to stick her bare, uncovered arm into the slime ooze in the floor. These guys are fairly tough.
This explains our missing crew.
This is not good. Where are you, Chris?
Was that supposed to be a late title card? Okay, so that was like the prologue. I do know that this game switches characters a couple times, so you'll have multiple kind of character storylines going on at once.
This sunny and idyllic Mediterranean coast was the site of one of the world's greatest structures. It took a full 11 years to finish constructing the world's first aquapolis, the floating city of Terragrigia. A sustainable metropolis operating on a massive solar energy matrix and equipped with the latest green technologies. Never before had solar energy been used to supply power to an entire city. But in 2004, Veltro, a terrorist group opposing the city's development, launched a bioterrorist attack. They not only released a virus, but also several creatures, known as bioorganic weapons, further complicating the situation. This launched one of the worst tragedies the world has ever seen. The FBC, the world's leading counter-bioterror organization operating under the auspices of the US, was called in to direct efforts to contain the attack. The BSAA, a counter-bioterror NGO, which operates independently of the interests of any one country, went in as observers to assist the FBC. Realizing the need for immediate and decisive action, Supreme Local Headquarters issued the order to use the city's solar energy matrix on itself. Media outlets around the world began to refer to the incident as the Terragrigia Panic. Following the incident, the FBC announced it has successfully disbanded the terrorist group called Veltro. It is now 2005, and a sense of calm and security is finally returning to the people. But, as you can see, the lost city of Terragrigia remains inaccessible, a silent and potent symbol of the threat that bioterror poses for people around the world.
Ah, there you two are.
O'Brien, you don't normally join the fray.
Well, my doctor told me I need exercise. I assume you both know that the FBC has cordoned off the entire area. However, in the past few weeks, a number of mysterious carcasses have washed up.
I guess the FBC couldn't cover up a mess this big, huh?
Anyone who knows what happened here is going to put two and two together.
And that's why I've sent the BSAA in to investigate. Did you pick up your new equipment from Quint?
Yeah. Genesis, something. Is that its name?
You didn't bother to read the manual, did you?
No, I brought it with me, just in case.
I hope you read quickly, because you're gonna need it on your mission.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Alright. So, getting a little mixed up with the timeline already. I'm guessing the news report was the setup backstory that'll be relevant to this game at some point, and then now we are in the past before the first section took place.
Ah, look at this mess. Oh, they're rotted to hell.
Now, question is, how do I use that scanner? It didn't actually tell me what button it is.
Skin so pale. I've never seen anything like it.
Use the Genesis to get a reading on it.
Okay, there we go. Just point this thing at it, and then...
The Genesis requires a decent sample size to get an accurate reading. Scan the carcasses on the beach and send me your data.
Trying to get to know the real me? Have a look at this.
Alright, so we need to scan multiple things to actually... Oh, what's this? Oh. Thought I said it said I could scan those, and then it would show me where they are. Ah, crow. I can see that this is going to become a trend. It's very Metroid Prime. Just go around scanning everything.
I'm getting something from inside it.
Careful now.
Don't worry, I've done this before. I've got something. What is this? If it's an engineered mutation, this could prove a link.
I'll run some tests on this. Continue with the investigation.
Man, Jill just really does not care about jamming her arm into fleshy objects.
Out there. That's where Terragrigia was. Has it been a year already?
Is that going to become a trend over the course of this game? Her just sticking her arm into every fleshy object we find with something metal in it? Well, at least there's plenty of ammo just lying around on this beach. Not that we have any use for it yet. But I'm assuming that this will carry over to the current game. Man, we've already got an achievement. Oh, that one is moving.
Careful, you two. I don't remember how straight a fight was repeated here.
I kind of figured that. Don't worry, you're on it.
Nope, that is not what I thought it was. I was trying to see if there was a roll move. I guess that's why they gave me so much pistol ammo.
After Raccoon City, this must be a cakewalk.
I suppose. So why'd you quit the FBC for this outfit?
I wanted to be more involved. I wanted to fight.
I see you two are okay. Continue with the investigation, but proceed with extreme caution.
Yeah, thanks, Captain. Don't actually, help out or anything with the giant blob monster attack.
A complete analysis. Gather some more samples from the carcasses on the beach.
Wow, that green herb is really, really big. I'm guessing this will work like old Resident Evil, and we'll have to combine that instead of just turning it into pill form. How do they know I'm aiming at them? Ugh.
That smell must have ruptured from gas.
Christ, what a mess.
Ooh, grenade. Weapon with G. Alright, so we can swap between grenades types, I guess. Okay, so we can only scan fleshy objects. Like this one here, they're trying to hide them from us. What was that? That was a grenade there. So far, so good. And there's our final goop. So if we fill up our meter, we get a healing
I've
item.
collected enough samples.
Good. Get them to me ASAP.
Is there a sprint button? Doesn't seem like it. I guess that's why our walk speed is so fast. Nope, another goop monster. Can I scan it? Well, it's alive.
Hurry up and neutralize them.
Yeah, found your weak spot. That certainly saved me some bullets. Okay, so once you're at 100, you can't rescan them.
All in a day's work for you two, eh? All right, enough chit-chat. Get that sample data to me. There you are. Nice work.
No doubt about it. These corpses show signs of viral infection.
And I bet it's no coincidence they came through the FBC's blockade.
Well, we did all we can. Now, we wait for the results to come back from HQ. Huh? It's the emergency line. Yeah, it's me. Uh-huh. What? Yes, that's fine. I'll take it from here. We'll have to speed things up. Starting now. Uh-huh. Good. Get to it. Jill, Parker. You two are still on the case.
What happened?
We lost contact with Chris and Jessica.
When? How?
We're not certain. I've sent their last known coordinates to your terminals.
The signal was lost over the ocean. I thought they were in the mountains chasing Veltro. But judging from their position, they must be...
On a ship. I'll go back to HQ, take charge of the search and rescue. You two will be my eyes out there.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's a little confusing. So they basically gave us... The beginning of the game was taking place just after the place we just played. And then the bit about Terragrigia was just backstory. So I can see why the chronology of this game might get confusing if it does that a lot. Well, I think that'll do it for episode 1. Give us all a little taste of what this game is. So far, it seems perfectly playable. And, unlike Resident Evil 6, nobody has shot back at us yet, which is nice. So I think that'll do it for now, and we'll continue this. I also do want to check out raid mode at some point. It's essentially mercenaries, but mercenaries apparently more in the style of old school mercenaries from Resident Evil 3 and 0 and 2, where you fight a bunch of enemies throughout a series of rooms instead of just, you know, having a time limit and seeing how many you can kill and how many points you can get. But we'll take a look at those in bonus episodes as we get through the game. So until next time, I've been Shadefyre, and I'll see you all folks again with Resident Evil Revelations HD.